Hello lovely people, welcome back. We are here today for, I can't remember what round this is, but it's Rookie Wednesdays. And yeah, brilliant action last time at Suzuka. It's in the commentary box, it's me, Rio, and then we've got lovely Zeta. Hello Zeta.
Good evening everybody, and welcome in to the race.
I think tonight it's going to be pretty good. We've got some big names out there. Last time out, yeah, Joyce, the rookie, who's a complete novice, came out and absolutely obliterated everyone in the very nice looking Mustang. So he won last round out there in Suzuka. And I also want to say a brilliant drive from Tom Davis. So he had a pretty rough start. Qualified 8th, made his way up into the top 5, and then was involved in an incident. Went down and brought himself up 11 places to finish near the podium and the top 5. So yeah, he's definitely going to be one to watch. And he's actually the only Lexus on the grid.
That's going to be fun round here, especially considering this is the pre-F1 update of the track. So the last corner is completely flat. So this is a car. This is going to be a bit of a management situation for some of these cars that are a little heavier on their tyres. I do know from experience the Lexus is a little bit heavier on its tyres through that last corner.
Yeah, you know what, Zolder's a pretty tough track to master, but if you can master it, you can definitely get some quick times in here. We're getting the times coming across at the minute, and it's Joyce who tops the lead of the field with Upton there in second, Dobson in third, so they are your AMs at the top. We also have Astrom, one of your rookies, in fourth, and then Mancunian in fifth, and that's your top 5 so far. These drivers are looking.
There we go, just skimming through the timing and scoring. We have Thompson in 16th at the moment, is 1.5 seconds up on their lap time. That is going to put them quite a way up the order if they manage to pull that off, as we are seeing more and more times filing in.
Yeah, another one up on their times at the minute is Baird. So I had a little talk with him last week. He said he's all the way in South Africa, so he's making time up for Togo, which is brilliant to see. But at the minute, he has just gone across the line. I think he's, where is he? I'm trying to find him. Down in P14, and he's up by a second at the minute. So he slots in down in P15 actually, so yeah, not great from him, but he is up at the minute, so yeah, it's...
We have got Banning just coming through the last corner now, 5 seconds up on their current time, and that is going to... Where did they just jump to? Third, with a 1:36.570. So that is a hell of a time, given that the leaders are pole position is currently at 1:36.38.
Absolutely, and it's not only just that, is it, Zeta? It's the fact that he's a rookie. We're taking it away from him, but he is 0.8 faster than the next one in his class. He's up there with the AMs at the minute, and he's really proven it that he's got the pace to keep it with them.
Very much so. Is some of the talent that comes through is spectacular, and this will definitely be one to keep an eye on. Having said that, unfortunately I did see that. Not sure if it was on stream, but you did just have a bit of a rookie moment at the slow hairpin in the middle of the circuit. Possibly pushing it a little hard, but it happens to all of us.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you need to remember, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Sean Wheatley up there in 3rd position overall, 1st in class, so he takes it to Banning. Yeah, like you were saying there, sorry, before I got distracted. It's definitely, you need to remember that these guys are the rookies. They are they're still learning the grips of the game. They're trying to improve their driving a lot more until they can get up there with the faster lads and sort of get a bit further up the field, potentially maybe even go into in the World GT Pros, you know. And this is definitely the place where
there has been
a lot of these drivers.
I was going to say we've had a couple of drivers go up there from last rookie season who moved up to the Pro Series on Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't actually been checking in with the pros. Do you mind telling us who won it last time?
I didn't get a chance to check in with last night's either. I can check the base results quickly on SimGrid. They will be the unofficial ones that will have been posted.
That's fine then, I guess. So at the minute then we have James Joyce at the top of the table in their Mustang. He took the win last time. He's looking to do it again. It's going to be another pole unless Samuel Upton or anyone else in this grid can top him off. So James Joyce in the minute is on the pit, and then Samuel as well as also in the pit, but it's Oliver Upton, the Toga Academy, Aston Martin. So this Brit here is definitely fancying the likes to take it to the top boys. Paulson not that far behind, only 0.07 of a second off his personal best tonight. Joyce is 0.2 up the road from Samuel, so the number 69 car has some catching up to do to the Mustang. As we're seeing in the live chats here, we're getting people from all over the world. Greetings from Las Vegas. Well, hello. I'm very happy to see that we're getting all around the world, and yeah, this is an ever-growing community. If you want to join us, if you're on YouTube and Twitch, I'm pretty sure you're able to do !Discord, and that will give you a Discord link. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zita.
As far as I'm aware, that's how that works. Also, good evening, Possum. My brain has just failed as to who that is. It's one of our regulars. And my brain has just failed as to who that is. So good evening. Also good evening from Poland, as we are down to the last 2.5 minutes almost of qualifying.
And it's looking to be Joyce who's taken it. That's going to be 2 weeks in a row that he has pole position. But unless Samuel can do something about that, I'm not too sure if he can. He is negative on his delta at the minute, but we are seeing slight improvements from the likes of Banning, which will be 0.2 of a second. If he can get that, he'll be up there in the top 3, potentially top 2 of the grid. So it is very close with these top 8 drivers, potentially even top 10. I mean, you're forgetting the top 11 drivers are all within a second of each other. That is absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
That is a heck of a. It's going to make for a heck of a race, especially running through the first few laps. It's going to be eyes on stalks for both of us, keeping an eye on all of that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's one of these things where I think with it being such a tight grid, you really need to be aware of your surroundings. The likes of the experienced people here, Mancunian, Dobson, Pikiri. Who else are we looking at?
Speaking of Dobson, just jumps into second, 0.170 off the lead.
Wow, brilliant lap time from Tristan there, isn't it? The American. He's doing very well, but he's just unable to dethrone Joyce.
4:12 in the morning in Vegas, so very nice, middle of the day. Honestly, I can't think of anything much nice to sit and have your lunch.
Sit and have your lunch with a brew and watch some cars. But there you go, Carl Banning goes faster, and he slots into second, 0.09 of a second off of James Joyce. What a lap from Banning. The rookie driver is really starting to make a name for himself and take it to the big boys.
Definitely. What else have we got? Slightly further down the board, Coltrini's on an improvement. Calderu is on an improvement as well. I say that and curse the commentator. Strikes again. I do apologise for that one.
It happens all the time. It happened last week as well. This is one thing that we're looking at though now. Sam Wheatley at the minute is up by 0.2 of a second. If he can keep this lap nice and sturdy at the pace he's going, he potentially could dethrone Joyce. Wheatley is improving 0.3 of a second up at the minute. This is the last opportunity. He can do it. The clock has struck 0. He's 0.4 of a second up. He's got half a lap to keep this nice and tidy. Can the McLaren keep it nice through here? It looks sturdy, and the time has not changed. In fact, he has gained. So he is improving slowly but surely throughout this lap. But Wheatley, really interesting to see if he can dethrone Joyce. Is coming around now. What will it bring him? Third position overall. Wow, what an emphatic drive there from Sam Wheatley, the rookie driver. Number 22 there of the McLaren. A brilliant, brilliant lap.
We also have number 69 of Samuel, is currently 2/10 up, just coming through the last corner now as well. Can this throw any last cats amongst the pigeons before the end of the lap? Indeed, jumps up into 4th place, dropping Banning now down into 5th, Wheatley 3rd.
Wow, absolutely amazing. The top 5 all within a 10th of each other. This is very close racing going on here at Toga. It's just, you just can't, you couldn't write it, could you? We're looking at a couple of drivers at the minute. Caradu has just improved up to, where's that, 12th I think it is. Yes, it is. And all the other drivers now have bailed out of their laps. So yeah, a brilliant, brilliant drive from a lot of these. And we're getting ready for some brilliant action to pursue. So Zita, if you're new to Toga, and obviously not everyone knows all these drivers, can you explain a little bit about what the different classes mean? You know, why are there some drivers with white plates, and who are some drivers do you think will definitely be out there to make a difference?
Okay, the white ones, in all honesty, are a slight curveball. The grey, the red are definitely the rookies in this series. They are the ones who have been at the it's based off of lap times, so their average lap times when we were setting everything up, there was a server that was open for everybody to do, and that meant there was a bracket, essentially. If you were under a certain time, it depended on which class you went into. So by being in the rookies, you are under the lowest, the longest of times, which was cut off of 1 minute 30.39 or greater, and if you were between 129 and 53, and 129.53 and 1 minute 30.39, basically 103 to 104%, you would be put into the AM category. I'm assuming that is people who did not set a time in the categories during the practice sessions, and through the setup will be the ones in white. So they did not set a time, so they are in their own category. I don't know where they are.
So what I saw last week in the Suzuka race was these drivers are actually novices, so it's their first time out with Toga, and they're still trying to find their way into a category. Obviously, we saw James Joyce last time out there. He was a novice with his first time out, and he was up there with the amateurs, and he was competent, very competent out there. So he's been put into the amateur class. So I'm taking that's what it is. Right, let's run through the grids then, shall we? So Michael Thompson down in P27. Anil Ukalungu is down there as well next to him. Nasadu F, I'm not too sure. I think the game's glitched there with him. He's in 26th with Rudy Atkinson beside him. 24th is Nikita Monakhov. 23rd is Ibrahim Digman. 22nd is Ruben Astrom, with 21st James Wiseman.
In 20th, it is Collette. Josh Collette. In 19th, it is Ree Suroa. In 18th, it is Emma Uzdu. In 17th, it is Tom Davis. Daryl Longaname in 16th. Lorenzo Coltrini in 15th. Kevin Bakiri in 14th. Nick Luigi In 13th, 12th is Daniel Cadero. Lee Tyler in 11th. Richard Braid in 10th. 9th is Paul Mancunian. 8th is Ethan Paulson. In 6th is Ty Dobson. 5th is Carl Banning. Cairo Samuel in 4th. Samuel Wheatley in 3rd. 2nd is Oliver Upton. And James Joyce in rounding out top of the grid in 1st.
So that's your grid there in order from slowest to fastest potential. Well, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So some brilliant action looking to be ahead of us here today. And can James Joyce top the table yet again? He goes pole last time out that he raced with us, only last Wednesday. And he put on one hell of a show, I'll say that. He is actually getting coached by Possum. So Possum was talking earlier in the live chat, and he was saying last week that they did 150 laps of Suzuka the night before the race. So I wouldn't be surprised if Joyce has been putting some hours in, but you don't need to do that, to be honest. It's a bit overkill, but hey, if you need to do that, then if you think that's going to help, then that's what it is. Kagza, yes, this will be a brilliant race, so don't go anywhere. Keep it looking with this 1 hour and 5 minutes of a lifetime, I guess it is. Sam Wheatley, sorry, has improved massively past this season, so that's what a lot of people are saying at the minute in these live chats. Right.
Couldn't complete in the Rookies Wednesdays because they told me I'm too fast. Well, we have the Pro Series, so come join in with that.
Yes, please.
Also, we have the endurance races. If anybody is wanting to do the shameless plug for what else we have going on, have a look at our sim grid. The annual endurance series has now been posted. The races are on SimGrid for that one. So if you and all your mates want to go and do some longer racing, then jump into that one. We have a whole series of 6, 8. I think there might even be some 12 hours in there as well. So go jump into that. Go enjoy it. They're always a good laugh.
Koala over on the TikTok stream. You cannot play this if you have ACC on any Xbox/PS4 or PlayStation platform. It's only PC, sadly. We have been thinking about moving over to the consoles, but I think it's just the driver practicality with everything, to be honest. But yeah, no, do not stop watching us though, because we've got brilliant action to pursue soon. So yeah, it's going to be brilliant. Oh, the clock has struck 0 with this, so we're getting ready for the formation lap. Oh, I've got shivers down my spine. Here we are then, James Joyce. And the rest of the grids have moved off from their grid positions onto the formation lap, where they're going to be warming up their tyres, getting ready for the racing. Whoa, this is exciting already.
It's going to be good fun. I'm keeping an eye on further down the grid for this start of this race. As well, so we can see everything that's going on and keep track of all that is there. Yeah, it's gonna be a mad scramble into turn 1. That's for sure, and probably for the most part for the first couple of laps at least. It's gonna be a bit of a scramble. It's a very narrow track. It's very fast in places, and it's also extremely technical as we see him going through this early part of the lap, up over that crest. Again, something that doesn't always come across on video is just some of the elevation changes that happen on this track. Is you are going to be going through some of these bits actually somewhat blind coming up on cars. So keeping an eye on your screen for yellow flags, blue flags, etc. are going to be really important for these drivers as well.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping that there's not going to be many yellow flags out here today, but you never know. We have gone, I think it's the whole season so far without a red flag, so fingers crossed Do not commentate curse me on that, but we can get that.
I was about to say, if it does happen, you can blame Rio for the commentator's curse on that one. Having said that, of all the tracks, probably most likely to be this one.
Yeah, but the problem is as well as even if you run wide, it's just grass, gravel, and then bang, you're in the wall and your car is demolished.
Yeah, and there are places at this circuit where it's not even grass, gravel, wall, it's just grass, wall.
Yes.
There's very little runoff area in quite a few places on this circuit.
But that's what makes it so technical, and when you see these drivers driving how they do around here, navigating this twisty circuit, you do have a sense of just awe in it, where yeah, It
is a really fun track, I will say. If you do get a chance to drive it, it's really fun. It's a really rewarding track to get right. You will probably, a lot like Bathurst or Nürburgring, you'll probably spend the first 20 or 50 laps swearing at it because it's infuriating, but you get it hooked up and it's really good fun.
It really
it's a really
is.
satisfying lap.
It's a very much satisfying track to get it right. Can these drivers get it right? That's what we want to find out. We've got 1 hour and 5 minutes of race coverage for you following on from now. We're waiting for the green flags. The drivers are on the home straight, coming up to the start-finish line any minute now. There goes the greens, and it's 3 wide already. What can Sam Wheatley do up the inside of James Joyce? The Mustang looks to have to defeat, but Sam Wheatley gets 2 and 1. Round the outside, though, goes Oliver Upton as he spins, so it's gone all horrible for Upton there. But it is James Joyce that leads, following on from Samuel. Then you have Wheatley, then we have Banning, Dobson, Paulson, Tyler, Mancunian, Caradu, and then Baird. So that's your top 10 so far, but it's a very close top 3.
I was about to say, Tyler there jumping from about 14th, 15th on the grid up into the top 10, now coming side by side through up the hill over the crest with the BMW. Gets away with that one. Nobody ends up in the wall through there, so very nice driving there to hold on to that one. James Collett in the 666 Mustang is under fire from the Lexus of Davis, having had a reasonable start for both of those. Ooh, makes a little bit of Mustang makes a little bit of contact with the BMW. BMW not the best way of rejoining. Neither was the Mustang being all that aware of where that car was coming back on. That has just dropped that BM way down the grid.
Yeah, Zita, I just hope you know that they can't actually see what you're commentating on, so it's quite tough for them to sort of envision that. Oh, I have a car back there. Who is that? Is that Paul Mancunian? Yes, it is. So Paul Mancunian for the Toga Esports there in the big fat Ford Mustang, as I like to call it, the boat. Yeah, it's, I don't know what happened to him there. The 808 does drop down the field, back down into 10th. So meanwhile, though, we have Cairo Samuel hunting down James Joyce, number 25, really feeling the heat of the BMW. So what can that Demon Tweaks driver do to decrease that gap? I think to be honest, near the early stages of the race, it's sort of a game of let's work together and then we'll fight later. Once we've got that gap to the rest of the pack gone, then we can start fighting for position. It's a long race, you know, anything can happen, and you need to set yourself up ready for the long term.
Oh, that's the 603 is off track. And in the grass.
That is Tristan Dobson there, so the McLaren racing driver is down at the back of the grid. He's going to have a whale of a time trying to make his way through the positions yet again, but hey, it sucks for him. Meanwhile, though, we have Tom Davies starting down in P13. I think he's starting, not too sure. But he, at the minute, is up into P10. He's looking to make more positions in that old-fashioned Lexus. Last time out in Suzuka, he was saying that he was struggling a bit with the old-fashioned electronics, in his words. But he's doing one hell of a drive with it anyway. And we're just trying to see how he's going to suit this track with the car today.
Yeah, that car being one of the earlier GT3s, I mean, it's still, as you can see, fantastically competitive. Some of its onboard systems are a little more archaic in comparison to what there are on the newer systems. They're not quite as finely tuned or finely adjustable.
So Possum back there in the chat, he says, Lexus is good round here, get a move on Tom. So Tom Davies, if you are listening in, you've got a little fan club going, and you've got people rooting for you, so maybe that's something to sort of get a bit of the edge on. Meanwhile though, James Joyce is still leading. You know, he's doing very well, and he's actually pulling a bit of a gap to Samuel. The gap now is 1.1 seconds, so he has stretched the edge out on Samuel. Cairo will be looking to decrease the gap though to your leader.
Lovely. There are some trains of cars all the way up and down the grid. People trading places as Tyler gets past Fanning.
So watching now as Emery Ozduru is feeling the heat from the Lexus behind of Davies. 343, the novice driver. Tom Davies, oh my days, he looks a bit impatient there, just going side to side, left to right on the straight, trying to find a way past the BMW. Yeah, no, I think Ozduru is trying to get the elbows out, as you may say, but what can Davies do now? Into T1, there's nothing he can do just yet. No, he's going to go for a late lunge. That was late on the brakes, very close to the contact with the McDonald's car. He was just very lucky to not create contact into turn 1. I'm sure that would have been a bit of a mess. Oh, there is contact. Never mind. So Davies does collect up Ozduru there, but he gets shoved wide. It's a very much of a shove there from Sousa and Collett. So Collett creates his way up there into 11th position, takes the spot behind Ozduru. Obviously Josh Collett last time out there took the amazing round the outside move at 130R. That's a brilliant move from the Mustang. Can he do more things out there today? Whoa, there is another Toga car out there. Is that Paul Mancunian? No, it is not. It's Oliver Upton. So, the man that started second on the grid. It's not going right for him, is it?
No, we have been following him as he's been coming up through the grid here. Making his way back up, dropped way down the order, but has been pushing his way through the battling between the Lexus that has just had a big old tag from the McLaren there. It is playing into his hands. It's closing the group up and actually allowing him to catch up side by side now alongside the Porsche. Going into the corner. Can he manage to make that stick? Yes, he does, but Mancunian collects Porsche on the way through. I'm not sure either of them had quite enough grip to really make that one work.
But here then, Tom Davies looking to go round the outside of Sousa. The McLaren goes defensive into turn 1. What can the Lexus do? No, Sousa goes off wide, and there goes Upton. So Upton in the Aston Martin follows up the Lexus of Tom Davies. Wow, this is a brilliant race already. We did see two drivers go off earlier. They are regained, and they're going to be trying to slot back into their good positions. Meanwhile, though, up the further of the grids, we have James Joyce now with the 2.5 second lead to his second predecessor of Cairo, Samuel. Sam Wheatley trails on to Samuel by 1.8 seconds, and Paulson 0.8 of a second off of Wheatley. As we're watching now, Emery Ozduru, the battle between the Beamers. Here they go. It's Emery Ozduru on birds. Number 35 and number 343 battling it out. But what can Josh Collett do? He has got stars in his eyes as he's seeing these two wasting time and backing themselves into the Mustang's fierce eyes. It's looking to be a pretty exciting race so far, isn't it? We've already had many battles, a lot of carnage, a few spins, and we're having sort of a bunch of everything going on all at the same time. Don't you agree, Zita?
It has been agreed. My eyes have been half glued to the timing screens because there are battles up and down the grid. Pockets of cars with cars changing positions as Thompson is sent a little bit wide, but hangs around the outside of the 157 of Anil in the 6th orange BMW there around the last corner, but unfortunately can't really get anything done, and the black BMW of Thompson hangs on to position. Now is yeah, I was about to say Darrell is now under bringing that BMW under fire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Longer name. A brilliant move by him, as now we're seeing Thompson get picked off by Dickman there. So it's not really going well for him at the minute. He's already lost 3 positions at the start of this lap. Within 4 corners, he's down. Robert Baird now. Oh, sorry, Richard Baird. My bad. In the Vodka Performance BMW is in P8, and he's got a trail of cars with Josh Collett behind him. So Baird is definitely trying to make his way up through further in the top 10. A reminder as well that James Joyce has still got a lead on the race. The gap now is 4 seconds to Samuel, and Wheatley is actually closing down on Samuel, so Cairo will be feeling the heat soon from the rookie.
For sure, as Josh Collett in the Mustang has had a really good run out of the last corner, is right up on under the rear wing of BMW. Can he make this stick on the brakes? Does manage to make it stick, but does that opens the door for Davis and Upton to go through, and Collett almost loses out running wide on the exit to Davis, as that is the BMW losing 3 places in 1 corner there.
That's not great, but one thing that is great is Tom Davies' pace at the minute. He is absolutely on fire, driving this Lexus through. We're also forgetting, though, that Oliver Upton was down at the very last of the grid, only 6 laps ago. So he's probably gained, I'd say, 16 positions already just by doing what he does. But here comes Tom Davies up the inside of Josh Collett. What can the Mustang do? He just feels the pressure and goes straight on. That is not what you want, to try and regain your position. And Tom Davies in the Lexus goes through with Upton trailing behind, with Richard Baird as well in for the rookie. We're just seeing there Oliver Upton flashing his lights on Davies, and Davies does the same back to sort of, I think that's a driver signal to say, let's work together, let's push, let's get through this pack.
Just watching the battle with Peter Tyler, Carl Banning and Lee Tyler all battling together. It started out with Peter Tyler and Banning battling, but those 2 battling has now resulted in Lee coming in from being stacked up into the front of Lee. So this is a 3-car train now for 5th, 6th and 7th.
Here we are then. What can Carl Banning do? He goes on the grass for a split second. It is the battle in the class there between Tyler and Banning, but obviously with the novice in with the mix with Banning, what can the 720 McLaren do to sort of edge his way in through the ranks? So Banning is just unable to get through there, sadly, and he is struggling a bit to sort of catch up and make way. He's not struggling to catch up, say, but he's struggling to get past. They're very even with their pacing at the minute, and yeah, but here, as I say that, there we go. He's going for the move. Can he go around the outside? Carl Banning, there goes the BMW. The number 6 in overall, side by side at the minute, Banning is. What can the German coloured car do? He goes around the outside, a bit of contact on the straight, but he has to go off. Oh, it's just not going well, is it? But here's Sousa and Josh Collett. They're side by side on the same corner that we just saw Banning go off on. So Collett makes the move, but he has to go off as well and bail off into the gravel. That's literally twice in 10 seconds we've seen 2 cars go for a move in that corner and end up on the gravel.
Yeah, it's an easy one done. It's a surprisingly tight entrance, but you need to get a good exit into the next section of the corners. It's one of the really technical bits of this track to get right, as we see. Just looking at Daniel Kaderu on the back of longer name there, trying to make it through. Doesn't end up running wide, but it is an easy one to do to miss your braking point. It's very short, it's very tight, and so far it's claimed a few scalps tonight.
Absolutely. I just want to also say out to anyone listening, James Joyce has increased his gap to 4.67 seconds. So 4.5 seconds now to Cairo Samuel. He's definitely got his eyes down the road, and he is doing absolutely phenomenally at the minute. Sam Wheatley, though, is looking to take it to Cairo Samuel, so it will be a battle for second position in the upcoming laps. I'm sure of it. The gap to him is half a second now, so they're very much a game of cat and mouse. I'm just seeing as well on the YouTube chat, a couple of people are feeling a bit sympathetic for Josh, and Possum is trying to give some tips to Joyce through the YouTube channel. I don't think that's how it works, but hey, you know what? We'll play along with it. But yeah, no, this is going to be it's looking to be a Joyce show, isn't it? It's sort of going to be a bit like what's it called? Max Verstappen. There you go. It'll be he's off and everyone else is having fun.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that the main thing with all of this? Is whatever happens, you have fun.
Absolutely, it's not toga if you're not having fun. Yeah, that's for sure. T stands for terrific. That's what we'll say. There we go. Tom Davies now all over the back of Ozduru. So we saw this battle earlier on, but it didn't work out for Davies. So the number 90 Lexus looking to get past 343 off the McDonald's Beamer. What can the Fanatec windshield stickers do to try and keep the likes of the Brit right behind him? Obviously, Tom is an established motorsport commentator, and he's also seeming to be an established sim racer. It's like he's a man of jack of all trades, isn't it? AJ Matthews on the YouTube. Pit stops, yes, there will be in about, I'd say, 14-15 minutes, give or take. There will be pit stops, and that's where everything will be going up. Josh Collett does have the 5-second penalty, with Uklongo also back there down in P20th with a 20-second penalty. That is mighty.
Yeah, there is a few penalties come through. We'll just have a quick skim through those whilst there is a lull in the proceedings. These will all be taken whilst they are in their pit stop. So we have car 22, 20 seconds, minor contact lap position gained lap 1, 157, 20 seconds, minor contact position gained lap 1, 666, minor contact tap on rear lap 1.
Oh my words, I hate to interrupt there, Azita. I've just seen the move at the century. Sam Wheatley just stuck it up the inside, and it was an absolutely amazing move. It was a McLaren-sized gap, and he went for it anyway. It was, wow, that was a brilliant, brilliant move. But now it's a battle for second, third, and fourth, and they're all within the mix. What can Paulson do to get past the McDonald's car of Samuel? I don't think he can do much yet, but it is Sam Wheatley who's pushing on at the minute. Wow, I just had to give him credit there, because
no, go for it. That is
brilliant, brilliant move from him.
That is a heck of a move to have gone for. It was the BMW left a McLaren-sized gap and no more, and that was what. And the McLaren just said, "Thank you very much."
Well, you know what it is with Sam Wheatley. If you give him an inch, he'll take a mile.
Yeah, for sure. Banning just having a bit of a running wide moment there. So what did I get to with the incident? 666 minor contact tap on rear, 5 seconds. Car 17, 20 seconds, not holding brakes after incident. Car 7, 25 seconds, minor contact, position gained. Lap 2, 5 seconds, not holding brakes. Car 3, 5 seconds. Car 90, minor contact, position gained. Car 90 warning, minor contact position not gained. Lap 4,
Oh my.
808, 5 seconds.
They're so close at the back there. I'm very sorry, I just have to interrupt there, but Oliver
No, I
Upton
just
is
picked up to see what was
absolutely
going on.
What is going on? It was too wide on both of them. Oh, there's contact between Upton and Baird though. So there's not Baird, sorry, Tyler. That is so unfortunate for Oliver. Oh my days, as Banning almost comes in and wipes him out. Not Banning, Mancunian, sorry. The two Toga drivers almost coming together. Oh.
Don't run into each other. You're not supposed to knock your teammate out.
Yes, well, it's one of those things, isn't it, that happens. And sadly, I could say it's unavoidable.
Oh, Wheatley off track. Wheatley has suddenly. Sorry, I saw what yellow flags. What happened there? Just dropping down the order. Ooh, runs wide, just gets sucked onto the grass, hits the curbs, and just cannot get it off. That McLaren not liking the curbs through that section.
Ozduru now all over the rear of the Lexus of Tom Davies, 3/10 off of him. I don't know if he's far back enough to make the move. Paulson is looking to take a move to Cairo Samuel, who regains his position as Sam Wheatley goes back down into P4 where he was earlier on in this race. So it's about 10 minutes remaining until we get the pit stops coming on. Oh my days, as Ozduru goes sideways. Oh my, narrowly misses the wall as we're getting a few drivers coming past him, so he goes down the ranks, down into, just trying to have a little look, sorry. Ozduru is now in P9, he is. So the novice driver, he had a nice little start, but it's just been struck with bad luck. So here we are then, we're looking at Ethan Paulson here, the South African. Number 95. You would say he's Lightning McQueen. He's sort of in the colours. It's Toga Academy. But he's all over the rear of the Demon Tweaks of Cairo Samuel. So what can he do? 4/10 is the gap. And it's stretching out slightly more to 6. I don't think he's far enough back to make the move. Quite a lot of these drivers are starting to get spread out now. It's not what you want as a competition.
Yeah, everything's starting to open up. There's a few people that have had slightly unfortunate incidents or comings together with grass and or walls and gravel. So if it's starting to spread out a little bit. I think people are just finding a groove and the race is sort of starting to find its own pace. Now, question is, of all the drivers you've seen so far today and you're likely to see over the course of this race, who is your driver of the day?
Well, so far, I have personally got to say Tom Davies. He's been on it from the get-go, and whatever hitting he bounced back, he dropped down to what was it, 18th, 19th position. He's already up in the top 5 this early on. I'd also like to say Oliver Upton, if I can have 2.
On YouTube, you can put 2 votes in.
I think it's 18 positions from where he is now. These gains. From his little incident, because he was literally dead last with a gap, and now he's brought it up into P10. So it's brilliant there from Tom Davies, from Oliver Upton, sorry. I'm just on board now with Ethan Paulson as we're watching his lines, and we just get a sense of how fast these guys really do go. And just how good they are. Because I think a lot of these people forget. They think, oh yeah, it's just an amateur. But yeah, he's an amateur, but he's absolutely way better than me. Like,
I dread to think where I'd be on the grid.
These amateurs, I'll put it into perspective. So these amateurs are the guys that you go into a public lobby, and you see these guys doing laps that are 5 seconds faster than second place. Those are the amateurs. And then you have the pros, who are just in a different level that I couldn't even think about their type of lap times. They're at 32.5. What? It's one of those ones where you sort of, it's just fathomable. Unfathomable. But
Yeah. The sort of people that will just cruise past you and like you're stood still and you're pushing as hard as you possibly can, and they still make you feel like going backwards.
Finally, though, some action with Lorenzo Cortini, the DMF driver, looking to take it to Suso's, as we're seeing one of the drivers go off. That is Nasadu in the Lamborghini. So Cortini all over the rear of Suso. What can the McLaren do to defend from the Ferrari? Up into P20 they are. This is the battle for P19 at the minute. Onto the home straight, they're going side by side. We know this Ferrari has the straight line speed, and my oh my, can you see it? It looks to be a good move, and it's a pretty bog standard move there, to be honest. They just round the outside of the final corner. He went up alongside him, used the power and the straight that he had, and tucked in right there behind him.
Got a really good slingshot out of the last corner, and it's not a huge pit straight, but it's about the only long straight that you can make moves on.
Uncunglo almost had a very big moment with Thompson there, but luckily no harm was done. One thing we are seeing at the minute, Tom Davies is all over the back of Tyler. Well, I say all over the back. He's just under a second off of this number 720. Jeez, with a 25-second time penalty. Oh my word. Yeah, that's not really what you want, is it? As a novice, doing so well, top 5 overall, and you've got that.
Yeah, but Sam Wheatley still managed to get 20 seconds as well. Having said that, Tom Davies hasn't come out of this one unscathed either, has ended up with a 5-second penalty as well. That's car 90. What was that for? Car 90, minor contact position not gained, lap 4.
Well, the 5 seconds isn't that bad. I mean, it's better than not having it's better than having a 20 second or a 10 or anything, but it is yeah, what can you do with it? There's nothing you can do about it now, other than do your own race, wait for your pit stops to come in. Pit stops will be in about 4 minutes, but here goes Davies looking for the move on Tyler. The McLaren goes wide as the Lexus slots in beside him, but the move is still on as the defence is... defence is like a lion at the minute, as Fernando Alonso may say, but here comes the Lexus of Davis, looking to go around the outside. We saw there was box standard moves in there. A couple of drivers went off at that corner, but it's nothing that Davies can't handle as he gets the move done early and simply lovely.
Yeah, that Lexus is a monster in a straight line. If you can get it off the corner, it's pretty much, I think, the fastest thing in a straight line in the game. Here, I think might be able to trim the Mustang out to be slightly to get to about the same speed, but it's tight between the two of them.
It very much is. I just want to say as well, we haven't really talked about him because there's no need. James Joyce is leading the race by 7.1 seconds. And that's just, can I also say as well, to put it into perspective, this is his second race with Toga.
I'm not sure when the next race, the next Pro Series is coming, but I might put, there probably needs to be some suggestions.
I think there will be. Maybe we should just have a Joyce category.
Having said that, has managed to get their head down and get a bit of a gap, but second place, it feels like it's a race that nobody wants to be in second for, because it's changed hands. From Oliver Upton, it's been Samuel Cairo, it's been Wheatley, and now Paulson's going for it as well.
Yeah.
As the pit window opens.
Yeah. I just want to say, Possum, who's been working with James Joyce, has just put the salt in the wounds of every other driver out there, and has revealed that James is on a controller. So for those drivers out there at the minute that are thinking, oh, I can't race in here, I'll be slow because I'm on controller. Well, you're seeing what can happen when you are on a controller and you know how to handle a car with it. Wow, that is, you know what, hats off to you, James. your driving today is impeccable. Your driving always so far has been impeccable. Keep doing what you're doing, mates. Wow, that's baffled me. That's very much baffled me.
I don't think I could even get anywhere near those lap times on a wheel, let alone on a controller.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at his steering wheel and yeah, it very much is controller-esque.
Yeah. As we have a handful of pit callers, Tom Davis, Joyce, Josh Collett, Cairo Samuel, Mancunian, Ruben Astrom, Sorosa is in, Oliver Upton's in, all in for scheduled pit stops, as well as Nidusa F is also in for their pit stop. I believe that livery is based off of a Wall Racing livery. If I remember correctly.
Who's that?
The Lambo, 99 Lambo. I believe that livery is based off of one of the recent Wall Racing liveries. They raced down in Oz.
I think you're
As
right.
our race leader is in car 25, James Joyce.
There you go then. So Paulson takes the lead. You know what? That's a really good pit stop strategy from Paulson as he makes up and gets it done. But will it be enough to defend off from James Joyce and the rest of the field? By the time he gets this stop done, I don't know if he can. Tyler comes in at second, so the novice still needs to pit. Where is James Joyce? Joyce is down in P9 at the minute and is going to be coming out of his pits now. There you go. So James comes out and every car ahead of him hasn't pitted yet. Wow. This is just stupid. James, what are you doing on the track? What are you doing on the track? Get off the track and get off the track and go do the Pro Series, mate. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, here we are then. Let's have a little look at some of the action, if there was any. I just saw a load of 0.1s there on the timing screen, and then I clicked on it, and it's people in the pits. So I feel a bit
Yes, I was about to say, people that have managed to get, I'm not sure if that is speed tokens or if that has been pit stop related, but Josh Collett has managed to get a drive-through, which they are just serving now. You'd be hard pushed to get track limits violations here, because you end up off track, you're having a bad day pretty quickly.
You very much are. So here we are then, the top, I think that's the top 5 all going into the pits. Yes, it is, the top 5 all going into the pits now. As I'm sure Wiseman will be doing it as well shortly. Longer name is just buying the time as he's seeing the race leader. Obviously without everything, with all the pits and everything. James Joyce is the first on track with Samuel only 2.6 seconds behind. So Samuel's timed this really well, to be honest. And if James Joyce does make a mistake, which, you know what, it would very much surprise me if he does. But yeah, I don't know if he will. But if he does make a mistake, then I'm sure Cairo will be wanting to make his way up into the lead. I just want to say as well, some of these drivers, if you do want to vote for driver of the day, all you need to do is do exclamation mark, vote, space, and then the number of your driver. So I'm just testing it now to make sure it does work. There we go, so it should work and pop up on the screen any minute. If it has worked, if it hasn't, we need to speak with our technical developers. This is two weeks in a row now where strange. Anyway, let's go back to it then, shall we? So James Joyce is the one who leads out of the pack that have pitted, with Cairo Samuel right there with Carl Banning down there, half a tenth off of Richard Baird. Richard, we heard from him earlier on last week after the race in Suzuka. Very nice finish from him. But what can the German coloured car do to get past the South African number 35, defending like a true champion of Valka Motorsport, really wanting to maintain P9. So many drivers in here today.
There are a lot of drivers in here. I'm just struggling to keep an eye on what's going on. Wheatley down in 12th after their pit stop. Upton in 13th and is hunting Wheatley down. 0.3 of a second is the gap.
Hey, so it is working, and you can see it on the left-hand side of your screen. I'm very happy with that there. So if you do exclamation mark, vote, space, and then the driver number. If you do have a driver that you cannot see on the left-hand side of your screen, please do tell us, and we will tell you the number that they are. But yeah, there we go then. So that determines the driver of the day. Pretty sure they get extra points. So we're seeing here Carl Banning really wanting to get past Baird in P7 and P6. This is the battle for P6. If they can keep it clean and have a nice little battle here, I'm sure they'll be able to come home with some good points finishes. Banning looking to make the move up the inside as Richard Baird goes wide. So this is the battle for first in class as well, may I say. So Richard Baird has to yield as he goes wide. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining on the pit window, may I say, as well. So any drivers that need to get it done, they need to get it done very shortly. So here we are then. Banning has got the move done, and that is first in class.
I was about to say, I think the only car that hasn't pitted is Dobson, and they are in the pits as we speak.
So Caradu now is also looking at Ferrari on McLaren action, and there goes up the inside. It's a late move from the McLaren. And there we go, it's a pretty box standard move. Nice move from the novice. Number 3 moves up into 13th. Sorry, 12th. Sorry.
Josh Collett hunting down 17th of Rudy Atkinson in the BMW is now just going to be starting to make themselves known in the mirrors in that 666 Mustang.
So Sam Wheatley as well in P10, P9, sorry now. And yeah, he's been doing very well indeed. You know, we saw that brilliant move from him earlier on. And yeah, he's just been on it, hasn't he? Tom Davies also in P4 overall, with a 9.5 second gap to Paulson. So it seems to be that Davies will be finishing in the top 5 with no mistakes. He should be there pretty simply.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see which cars that is. Are they blue flags? Yeah, they will be, because it is 9.5 seconds the car ahead.
Wow, there we go then. So it's certainly looking to be a pretty good race so far. 27 minutes remaining, and we're still nowhere near to be done with the action. You can see on the right hand side of your screen the total track map, and you can see all the different trains that we have of the drivers. So I'll just show you the difference on the track map so people can actually fully appreciate it. So here is James Joyce, if you look there.
Pit window is now closed.
Samuel is there. If you just look on the track map, and that's just stupid. It's just, yeah, I'm actually in awe from this because it's just amazing. Yeah, brilliant drive from him, isn't it, Zita?
It's genuinely, properly impressive. I mean, second race with us here at Toga, and just running away with it, really, and yeah, more to the point, running away with it on a controller, which is genuinely impressive.
Absolutely.
So yeah, big skill times that.
Big skill, definitely driving the boat of the Mustang. But it's looking to be Cairo that will be coming home in second position overall if he can keep that fender out of Getting Bender. So there you go. So we need to sort of know. Blue flag shown there for the orange BMW of, is that Thompson? I think it is, yes. That is Thompson.
Oh, what?
Sorry?
Sorry, my timing screen just had a glitch. Suddenly Upton was into second and had yellow flag. Don't know what was going on there. As a quick thing, just again, keeping an eye on the timing screens. Car 90, Mr. Tom Davis, a couple of laps ago, was 14.5 seconds back from Ethan Paulson. The gap is now 9 seconds.
Wow.
I kind of have a feeling of what could have been with that car.
More like what is going on with that car. It's just...
I mean, that's true. It goes round there. It goes generally. Quite a fun car to drive. However, yeah, that could... I feel a little bit sorry for Davis because that could quite easily have potentially been his fastest lap. 136.562. James Joyce's fastest lap. 136.532.
300ths
There's
of a second.
not a lot of time difference between the two of them.
No, it's exactly 300ths of a second off of James Joyce. So yeah, brilliant times from him in the Lexus. I guess if it works for him, it works for him, and it's certainly paying off, isn't it? James Joyce, though, and I figured this out earlier, James Joyce has led every single lap of this race.
Even through the pit stop cycles?
Oh, sorry, we'll take away the pit stops then. We'll take away the pit stops.
I was going to say, because I thought there was a couple of laps when everything was cycling through, because we had...
Through the people
Paulson
with...
and Samuel in the lead at various points, but yeah.
Yeah. With the people that have done the pit stops, he was always leading it.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Just brilliant driving from a lot of them, to be honest. Especially with Davies, you know, I feel a bit bad for Oliver Upton. He's just been, it's very much been a hit and miss all night tonight. Ruben Astrom as well, though. So seeing Paul Mancunian using all the track there. Here's the GPX Racing Golf livery type Porsche there. Under pressure from the Toga Esports driver of 828. So what can Mancunian do? It's 4/10 off of Astrom. Mancunian looking to get past him as speedily as possible up into 14th. This is the battle for the position. So 808 now taking it to 28. It's not a battle for class, but it is a battle for overall, so this will help him get further away from the other novices, get them further up. It's side by side as he's going to go, looking to make the move up the inside under the braking, but here comes the Porsche. He has to tuck back in, and it's Mancunian's position for now. So the Toga Esports driver is up into P14. A brilliant move from Paul Mancunian. Is he looking to make a move back though on him? I don't know. Will the rookie driver? That Porsche certainly does have the speed advantage on the straights. The big V8 Mustang engine definitely does sort of carry it, but especially with the Porsche being in the slipstream, it will help him gain that gap.
Yeah, that Mustang's going to be punching a big hole for the Porsche to drag up behind. You can see the agility difference between the two cars through the tighter sections, but as soon as the track opens out, Porsche's got nothing on that Mustang in a straight line.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also need to remember that there's a bit of dirty air involved as well. This is a simulator after all, so a lot of these drivers, when you're too close to a car, it's sort of like, oh, there is a car in the wall. that is Wiseman. So look at what happened to him there. That is not great, is it? He just plows into the wall. I think just went a bit too late under brakes and yeah, was unable to gain the position.
Yeah, just checking in with what's been going on. Tom Davis is now down to 6.5 seconds, is the gap to Paulson in third. less than 21.5 minutes to go. 6.5 seconds. Third? Question mark?
Third overall and third in class. That is what is on his mind, I'm sure of it. You know, once he catches up to Paulson, it's only a 4-second gap to Cairo Samuel in second position, and then it's another 4-second gap to James Joyce. So it's very much a battle of, you know, once you get one, then it's a domino effect of can you get the others. I don't know if it will be enough time for Davies to catch up to Joyce, but you know, in Davies we trust. That's copyrighted as well, so no one can use that.
Over the last few laps, Davies has been the only one comfortably into the 36s for the last few laps. Everybody else has been 37.0 or 37.6 for Samuel at one point. Last time across the stripe was 37.607. So big chunk of time lost there to those around, whereas everybody else, Joyce and Paulson were 37.0s last time by.
Yeah, the lap times are coming in, and it's definitely looking like Davies will be catching up to him, I think. He is one of those drivers where he's able to get these lines done lap after lap after lap after lap after lap and just go all day, all night, what it seems. He's very much just one of those drivers that is just can crack down. Rip Oliver, Heyo Mayo down in the Twitch chat. Thank you for voting. We do appreciate your vote. Anyone on TikTok at the minute, if you do have any questions, please do ask and we will get back to you. Is this Discord only? Yes, it is. You have to have Discord and you have to be on PC. It is the game. Sorry, guys. The game is Assetto Corsa Competizione. So, if you are wanting to join in on the action, check out our link in bio, and you are able to race with us. It's looking to be very, very good. Right then, here we are. Oh yes, I may also say as well, guys, that you can only vote once, although that's not stopping 4 votes for James Joyce. So, wow. At the minute of driver of the day, we have James Joyce in with 4, Michael Thompson with 2, Lucci with 1, Paulson with 1, and then Tom with 1. So we're getting quite a lot of drivers wanting to vote out for their favourite. This is looking good.
It's shaping up to be quite an interesting battle moving forward. Just skimming down, Wheatley is catching up to the back of Upton quite a lot. In that McLaren is also looking to be bringing the Lee Tyler car 720 with them there as well. So we'll see what that brings, see what that gains. They're only just inside of a second, but the gap has been steadily ticking down a tenth to a couple of tenths a lap for a little while now. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
We certainly will. Obviously, you know, Upton has been very hit or miss throughout the whole race. He started off strong and then sort of has been in these incidents which just makes it very difficult for him and very tricky for him to progress. He keeps slipping up a little bit, or he'll get hits behind. And you know, we saw earlier he was with Tom Davies. They were slicing through the pack like it was melted butter. Just bang, 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 get the move done, and that's it. He was moving up. Then he was involved in the pit stops, an incident, and now he's down at P8, which is still a strong outcome. You know, 5th in his class, but it's not really what you want overall, especially where you're seeing Davies could have been battling for the likes of a potential podium.
And yeah, that gap is still coming down. It is... Oh, that is a lap and a half out of Davis. 30 a second faster, almost exactly, than Joyce.
That is exactly.
In fact, it's exactly a second faster last time across the line than Joyce. So yeah, that Lexus is on a march. The gap now 4.5 seconds to Paulson. Paulson is 4 seconds behind Samuel. Samuel is 4.5 seconds back from Joyce.
Wow, Davies, I'll just put it into consideration as well, guys, that aren't listening. So, James Joyce, your race leader, who had the fastest lap other than Davies last time, he hit a 1 minute 37 seconds .692, and Davies did a 1 minute 36 seconds .692. So it is literally the exact same lap, but a second faster. And he was also only a tenth off of, 1.3 seconds off of, it was 1.3, it was 1.13 seconds off of his fastest ever lap. So, wow, brilliant driving from him.
Yeah, that car is hanging on very well, and it doesn't seem to be... Well, we're now about halfway through the second stint, so everything's going to have started to settle in. Cars and tyres are going to have started to settle in. You're going to start, particularly with some of these lap times of the top drivers, you will start to see the wear and age of some of these tyres coming in. It's going to get a little bit harder to hold those lap times. It's going to get a little bit harder to get past back markers, etc., etc. As I'm just having a quick look at Samuel Wheatley under a lot of pressure from Lee Tyler for 9th and 10th overall.
He certainly is. You know, Tyler's been really sniffing that backside of the red McLaren. The 22 is just struggling to keep up with the pace of the car behind him, and that meaning that the novice at number 720 will be wanting to get past him very quickly. The last lap there from Sam Wheatley was a 1 minute 38.410, and then Lee Tyler's was 1 minute 37.875, so 0.4 of a second faster. There goes a car a little bit wider there. That looks to be the likes of Baird, I think.
I was going to say, sorry to jump in, Mancunian gets a hell of a drive up the pit straight on for Peter Tyler. Unfortunately, as the commentator, Peter Tyler gets all sorts of wrong and ends up off track and running into the barrier of the second of the hairpins.
Oh dear, not really what you want, is it? But this later in the race, it doesn't really help.
No, it does not.
There's not much that you can do. So James Joyce now, he's led 31 laps, we'll say. And the gap to Samuel is, if you round it up, it's 6 seconds. No, it is now 6 seconds. So James Joyce leads by 5.5 seconds-ish. It's just immense. Paulson 3 seconds off of Samuel, and then Davies 2.5 seconds off of Paulson. Davies is in fact reeling that Porsche in, and he's got him in his sights now. One thing that we're all seeing as well with real life racing and a lot of these things is as soon as you can see your opponent, you do go faster.
Oh, it is just being able... Well, the trouble is, it's a double-edged sword. Being able to see your opponent's great, because it does make you push that little bit harder. The trouble is, because you're pushing that little bit harder, it's really easy to push just a bit too much. And it go a little bit wrong as a result. So it can be a double-edged sword. If you push too hard, you can overdrive it and end up finding the old Barry R as a result.
Yeah, the Barry Yargan. Yes, definitely. That's one of the things that could happen, but I think if you've got enough sense in you to take be cautious, I'd say, with 12 minutes remaining, then you'll be staying out the barrier. Lee Tyler is all over the rear of Sam Wheatley now, so he is looking to make the move very shortly. We've seen these two be battling it out the past couple minutes and the past couple laps, but they're side by side now, so what can Lee Tyler do? It's McLaren on McLaren action. It all comes down to the driver infidelity. But here comes Tyler up the inside. He goes wide onto the gravel though, so he's trying to not regain that position as much. And there goes Sam Wheatley.
That was a classic go for a move and stuck a stamp on it, and it was returned to sender.
Yes, it was not sent. It was returned in 2 to 3 working business days.
Okay, sorry to jump in here. Tom Davies, 0.1 seconds behind Ethan Poulsen.
Wow, a tenth between.
That gap has just vanished over the last couple of laps.
It very
and
much
is now.
has.
Now Davies has got the tricky bit of it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass, and I can guarantee Poulsen is going to make that Porsche really, really wide.
Definitely will, as Lexus on the Porsche. He is wanting to do it, so Tom Davies is on a roll. He has been since the get-go, and it's 10.5 minutes remaining to get this move done. This will mean it'll be a podium overall for him. If he can get this done, this will be amazing. He has been all over in the grid, near the rear ends, near the middle, near the top. Now he's battling for the podium overall and in class. Can Davies make the move? This old-fashioned Lexus really making a name for itself. No one else is using it, but it's working for him as he looks to go deep under the braking point in turn 1. He's unable to get the move sorted. There he is now, though. He is actually. He gets a nice run out of the first turn, but the Porsche holds position. So Poulsen holding that third pace. What can Davies do to come back, though? The number 90 car is wanting to get past.
Went for a late apex, got a good drive, but the Porsche, as we've seen in so many other places, if you can hook that car up out of a corner, it just scampers off into the distance. Although that is Davies closing the gap possibly a little hard, more than was expecting on the brakes there on the back of that Porsche. No contact made, but getting very, very close. Apologies for all the voice going all the funny. Tries to go up the inside. Can he make this stick going through the top of the course there? He's on the outside for the next corner. Does he have the grip? Does he have the grunt on the exit to make this work? Holds them up. Holds Poulsen up tight on the exit. Does get a drive. Still on the outside. Now goes inside. Can get the car stopped and brake on the brakes. And that is through and clean for Tom Davies on that Porsche of Poulsen. Very nicely done.
I'll take my vote back. It's Tom Davies.
That also means he's up 14 places from where he started.
Yes, 14 places from where he started, but at one point he was, 40. That's just stupid.
Point out, a bit of a silent assassin for this second half of the race. Imara's Duru up 13 places from where they started.
I'd say so. I mean, he was always up there in the top 10 though earlier on. But yeah, no, P5 overall at the minute, especially as a novice, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Beating all the rookie drivers in the majority of the amateur field. I'd say so. A bit more of a grey man. That's what we call them. I label a grey man every race. I label a grey man. So I don't know if you've heard about this, Seats, have you?
No, I'm not sure I have.
Right,
I have unfortunately been very, very busy and literally have just been dropping in and out to do bits of commentary. Fortunately, my work contract and shifts and stuff have all gone funky. I'm now doing very, very long days. So, yeah, I've basically been dropping in and out to do the commentary and not had a huge amount of chance to keep up with everything that's been going on here at Toga. So, yeah, please fill us in.
Right, so the grey man is something that I came up with. It's sort of like driver of the day, but something a bit different. It's the driver where you didn't really do a lot of coverage on, but is most improved and has come home with a really nice result. So your likes of Ozduru. We didn't really see a lot of action from him, but what we do know is that P5 overall, and has been absolutely on a rampage, like you say. 13 positions, I think you said, gained, 11 positions gained. Brilliant from him.
Ooh, Wheatley off. Sorry, Wheatley off in that battle with Upton. Didn't see what caused that. Where are they on the circuit for this one?
11.
Ooh, loses it on their own, gets on a bit too much on the power a little bit too early, and ends up in the barrier. Sorry to dive in there.
No, it's okay.
That was sudden yellow flags and lots going on. And funnily enough, that has put them back in the clutches of Lee Tyler.
So Lee Tyler all over the rear of Sean. Oh, it's not Sean, Sam Wheatley. I keep saying it's Sean because I'm used to Sean. There we go. Lee Tyler all over the rear of Wheatley, number 22, trying to defend. It's not for class, but it is novice. Oh my days, round the outside. Can he make the move stick? I don't think he can, because it is a cambered corner. Into turn 1 he goes. It's McLaren versus McLaren. They are banging doors. It's Wheatley that goes for the inside, and they just smash into each other. I don't want to make any assumptions about penalties or anything.
I'm going to leave that one for the stewards.
Tyler does take the position,
Wheatley
though.
has back. I think Wheatley has backed out of that one and given any positions back that would potentially be considered to have been gained through that move. Both of those cars taking a bit of damage. Unfortunately, Wheatley already had taken a bit of a clonk on the barrier in that earlier instance, so that car potentially already limping and has not helped that situation either.
Yes, definitely. People in the chat, I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on the race so far? Who has been your favourite grey man of a driver, as you'd like to call it, and why is that? Here we are then. So, I'm quite intrigued, to be honest, because James Joyce, one could say James Joyce is sort of a grey man as well, because he's just cracked on with his stuff. He's bang, 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 and then he's looking to win it. Start from finish.
Yeah, started from pole, ran away from the carnage, and just sat there.
Yeah. It just...
So, yeah, apologies for not giving you a huge amount of coverage. You've just kind of run away from everything, so there's not really a lot to report on.
No, there definitely
To some degree, I always feel it's, for the most part, to some degree, it's always a bit of a no news is good news from the commentary team. If we're not talking about you, you're probably having quite a quiet race, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, it could be a good thing. I mean, obviously, if you're in the top 3, it's a good thing, but if you're further down the field, it's a bit more like, well, you're not pushing hard enough. I'd say personally anyway. But yeah, no. We're having... Oh, another person has voted, so 87 has got the vote. That'll be Michael Thompson, so he'll be aligned now with James Joyce, I'm pretty sure, with the driver of the day vote. If you haven't already casted your vote, please do so now. All you need to do is follow what everyone else has been doing. But if you don't know what to do, then it's exclamation mark, vote, space, and then the driver number that you wish to vote for. If you do not know who it is or the number of the driver, please do just ask and we will get that sorted for you as soon as possible. So here we are then. James Joyce has been leading for Lamb Racing. He's just been untouchable this race here at Zandvoort. It's just great. There's nothing
It's a masterclass in clean driving.
It very much is.
Is what it is.
There is some action. Caradu on the back of Upton. Upton is one of these drivers where we've sort of seen him have a few ups and downs this race. Been tagged a couple times. Was really pushing through up the pack with Davies. But Caradu is starting to pressurise him. The McLaren all over the rear. Looking to make a move very shortly. What can he do? The gap to him is half a second, and the rear of the Toga Academy driver is looking quite tasty to him, I will say, to be honest. That McLaren looks to have Toga Academy on his dinner plate.
Car 87, thank you Wayne over on YouTube for that one. car 87, that is Thompson again. Thompson is starting to come under a little bit of fire from the following BMW of Dijkman there in the 19 BMW.
Yes, he is, certainly. Right then, so let's have a little look at some of our... Oh, Tom Davies on the back of Cairo Samuel. 2 tenths off of him. Where has this gap gone? Davies is looking to make a move in the latter stages of the race. The clock is going to be striking 0 very shortly, and Davies has not done yet. He is looking to take second position overall from Cairo, but will the time be enough? Just over 1 minute remaining until he does that. Yeah, 2 laps remaining of this race. Will that be enough for Davies to sort of progress furthermore? We know that Cairo Samuel is a very competent driver. We've seen him in the top 5 all race long. He knows what he's doing, and he's definitely very comfortable being at the front of the grid. But Davies is one of those drivers where you put him at the back, he'll make his way to the front. No matter what car, no matter what track, you can always count on him so far. That's what we've seen, and there's something that we can sort of rely on. 3 tenths off Davies there. The gap is decreasing.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
There we go, that's the announcement for final lap. So they will finish this one and start the next everybody will be starting their final laps.
Yeah, it very much will be. So it's the final lap of the race. The white flag has been shown, and yeah, this is what a race, to be honest. Just what a race. You cannot be. You can't.
Yeah, a little bit of action here. It is the Lamborghini that is playing a bit of a part in this Upton-Kaderu battle, as the Lambo is not really in a position to hold up.
I thought there was a move there from Tom Davies. I do apologise for having to interrupt, but Davies was looking to make a move on Cairo Samuel. He knows that there's not a lot of time remaining, and he's looking to go around the outside. There goes Davies. The Lexus goes around the outside of the BMW. The elbows have come out though, and the doors are getting shown open. Davies, is there enough space for him? I don't know if there is. There appears to be. It's going to be a bit... Oh, he tags him, and both drivers go off, with Cairo Samuel going into barriers, and Davies does go up. I'm not gonna say anything about penalties because I'm not a steward, but that looked to be a bit more of a racing incident, sadly. Yeah, there's not a lot you can say about that. James Joyce has been absolutely amazing this race. Even on a controller, which little things we found out, he has still managed to surprise us. He's led almost every lap of this race that he's been in. It's James Joyce who wins it today. 40 laps around here. Wow, James Joyce, an emphatic drive from him. Well done to you, and well done to Lamb Racing.
Yeah, properly good job. Just having a look back at a Osduru Carl Banning battle. I get all the B's and everything out in the right place. This is a BMW battle coming up the line. It looks like it's going to go the way of Osduru over Banning. Yes, it does. Very nicely done there. Right at the death that one came out of. Kaderu and Tyler now are... Sorry, Upton and Kaderu. This one looks like it's going to go the way of Upton. One hell of a defense from Upton in the early part of that race whilst we were looking at the battle with Davis. Upton managing to pull a beautiful switch back through the first corner. That was...
Oh my.
I have no idea what happened there. That was a Lambo going up warp speed.
Yes, that appeared to be a Lamborghini. That just did not care. Yeah, that was not great.
No, we don't like seeing people doing.
Maybe it's got a bit of a
those
grudge.
are on wheels. Some of them are particularly strong and can do quite serious damage if you take a big impact and it spins out your hands. So we don't really like to see that sort of thing.
Yes, so there's not a lot that we can do now, though, is there, about it?
Sadly not.
Right then, so the There you go. That is the race completed. So we will have your driver of the day completed. And yeah, well done to everyone for doing that race. You've all done very well. We're going to get started with some interviews in a quick second. Hello and welcome back. So we do apologise for the little wait, but we are back now and we're getting drivers in. So any drivers that have raced today, feel free to come into the interview waiting call and we will just chuck you into our little commentary box. The first driver that we want to speak to today is Carl Banning. Hello Carl, how have you been today?
Well, that was eventful.
That very much was. That very much was. That was the best word you could possibly say there, mate.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not super happy with my overall performance, but I still came out P1 for the rookies unless I missed somebody, but
No, I think
so
it
I
was
can't
P1.
complain too much. Um, yeah, I had a couple really stupid off-track mistakes at that I don't know what turn it is, the hard right uh into the left-hander towards the end. Turn 11. Uh, Otherwise, I had some good battles. I kept falling back. I gotta get better at looking at the names of people I'm driving against so I know who to talk about in these post-race things.
It's tough to do, isn't it, when you're so focused on all this stuff. No, I think you drove very well today. Can I ask, what is your favourite corner on the track?
Ooh, that's tough. I think I'd have to say that downhill right. I think it's 7 after the first turn in sector 2 is that's so fun when you get it right and you just get on the power and it all sticks.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's your favourite, is it?
yeah, I
You
think
love that
so.
one.
I
Yeah,
think so.
nice. What do you think about the elevation change of the track? Do you think it's a bit more like it's quite tough to handle, or do you think it's sort of one of those ones where you can immediately go out and nail it?
I think it's easy to get the hang of, but hard to master this track because a lot of it, the road is cambered with you and it's working with you to keep the grip, but you still to get the really fast times, you still got to be pretty on point to,
Mm.
especially through turns 1 and 4.
You think it's
The
four?
other
Yeah,
three,
yeah,
one
yeah.
and 1 and 3, those are, can be such make or break corners for a lap if you get a bad exit.
Mm. What do you think was your highlight of the race today?
Um, uh, Consistent. Well, I'd have to say highlight of the season is performing as well as I am. I was not expecting to to do as well as I did. I did the last race of the last rookie season at Paul Ricard, and I think I came in like 18th.
Wow.
So
Well,
I'm
what an improvement, eh?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm also terrible at Paul Ricard and still am, but uh,
Well, it's something you can improve on, isn't it?
yeah, definitely. What was let me ask you guys a question. What was your
Oh,
highlight from the commentators box? What do I got to go
wow.
back and look at?
I've never been asked a question myself.
That
Well,
is
you
a
put
question half. I think the
you
first
put
one
me
that
on.
comes to mind would be the just the drag from the pit stops onwards from Davis in the Lexus. just closed down 14.5 seconds.
Yeah, I saw he was starting far back, and then the next time I saw him, he was like up in third or fourth.
Yeah. Finished third overall there. Just a brilliant drive from him. Yeah, I want to say as well. I think James Joyce did very well. It was a bit more of a slower, not slower at all, but a bit more of a boring race, as you may say. But no, he just
Yeah, just
cracked on. I'd probably say the move of the day was Wheatley. That move on there was a brilliant move. It was literally a perfect McLaren-sized gap. I think it was turn 2 on the left-hand side. It was perfect McLaren-sized gap as you come over the curb on the left.
yeah.
He came over there and it was literally bang on, perfect size that you couldn't get closer, and got the move done up the inside into turn 3. So
Fantastic. I'll have to watch that.
yeah, I think that's it. Right, mate, we've got some other people waiting, but no, we do thank you for your time and well done today. You've done excellent. So yeah, P1 in class. You can't be too sad with that, eh?
Yeah.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah. Right. Are you? Sorry, I've got a question. One more. Are you going to be racing next week?
I am.
Good to see. Good to hear.
I am.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So if I don't hear from you until then, good luck, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
Thank you very much, guys. See ya. Right, let's get Richard in. Let's get Richard Baird in. Hello, Richard. How you doing? Oh, it appears he's muted.
Good evening,
Oh, there he is.
gentlemen.
How are you doing?
And yourself?
Yeah, I'm very good. I'm a bit tired, but yeah,
Me as well.
yeah, I bet,
I'm
man.
ready.
Yeah, you drove very well there today.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very, very happy with that performance.
Yeah, you're happy from that, are you?
Very, very happy.
Nice. Very, very. I would be as well, to be honest, mate. What do you think your highlights from the race today has been?
Not one single bump and not one single invalid lap.
Wow, that's very good. Well done.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
That is
yeah.
like,
Not a single touch of anyone and not a single invalid lap. I think that was phenomenal.
Wow.
Absolutely phenomenal.
yeah, I agree with
That-
that there.
That is a genuine skill to have managed to pull that off.
Wow.
Thank you.
So many
I'm very
cars
chuffed with
on
that.
such a competitive grid. Very well done.
Yeah, that's I've never heard of that before in my whole commentating career. Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Well, I'll take that. Thank you. That I
Yeah.
didn't think that no one else would have achieved that that
Well,
you've heard of, but
that's yeah.
I'm very, very glad to have achieved that.
Wow, yeah, well done. Wow, yeah, that's definitely some highlight here, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
What was
thank you.
your
Yeah,
what was
I
what
think
was your move of the day?
I was pretty pretty concerned in the beginning. I was struggling with pace in the beginning. I got up to seventh, and then yeah, quite early on got passed by I think 4 or 5 cars within I think 2 laps, and I thought, oh no, this is not going to go well. My race pace is not good. But yeah, all of a sudden, just yeah, found my rhythm and just marched along and just watched them yeah come past.
Oh, well, you know what? You found your rhythm certainly. Yeah, some strong laps in the bag. Did you do much practice ahead of today, or did you sort of just rock up and
I didn't.
pray?
I had only one 30-minute practice session where I dialed in the car's settings, got my fuel load sorted out. My tire pressures were not great. I struggled with tires towards the end of each stint. But I think actually running at a tiny bit of lower tire pressure didn't allow the tires to overheat, which I think actually helped me in the end.
Yeah, the tires sort of gripped on a bit later on. That's yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
That helped me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't think you dropped down in your position from the qualifying. I think you only went up. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I qualified in I think 11th
Wow.
or 10th. Yeah, 10th.
Wow. Top 10, eh, for qualifying. That's not too
Yeah.
bad with only a 30-minute practice session.
Yeah, very chuffed. Yeah, very
Wow.
very chuffed with
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I definitely
Thank
be
you.
as well. Well, yeah, no, that's brilliant. We do have someone else waiting, but
Awesome.
no, well, really well done today, Richard. You've done absolutely amazing. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and
Thank you again,
I'll
gentlemen.
yeah, no worries. Zito, have you got anything to ask him?
No, very well done for today's race. Did see you having some lovely battles out there, so hopefully it was enjoyable for you on the track as it was for us here in the commentary box.
Always enjoyable, and thanks very much again for your guys' yeah, dedication to commentating. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I do have one question which I always ask everyone: are you going to be racing next week?
100%.
Brilliant, mate.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you then.
That's always
Thanks
good
very
to
much,
hear, man.
gentlemen. Have a good rest of the evening.
Thank you. Have a nice night, mate. Right then, here we are then. So we got Tom now. Tom, what?
Hello.
There's no words to say. I don't think. Um, Yet again, you have pulled off a masterclass, and you just keep surprising us. I guess. What's next week? Are you gonna do the move from Cars where he flips over? Like, is that in the hat? Is it?
I don't think I've quite got that level of skill. I think before we get into the race, I want to start by apologizing to Cairo. I mean, I'm not sure if it was caught on the stream, but slight moment of oversteer on the final lap going for a move, and he was defending
Yeah.
hard, I was attacking hard. It was getting quite tight, and then I just had that little bit of oversteer into the side of him, and it was like, right, well, I can either wait or I can get on up the road. I'm going to lose a position anyway, and it's like I'll just get on up the road. But start by apologizing to him, because that was. I got 5 seconds for it. It wouldn't surprise me if that goes up to 10, because I think at the moment on the results I'll still be classified as ahead of him, which feels a little bit wrong. I'll say that at least.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I sadly I cannot comment on it, but no, you did very well either way. A matter of laps. You gained a 14-second gap. It was 14 seconds overall. That you caught up, and I think about 5 laps. So it's just mental. That Lexus is really doing mysteries for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never been particularly great at qualifying, but I think the Lexus has the problem in that when you get to race pace, everybody's got some weight on, and maybe there's a bit of ballast at the front, and so it all evens out. On qualifying, I don't have any extra time to find in the time attack, and that seems to be, I think, why I'm qualifying so far down, is that I'll do the lap time I did in qualifying every single lap of the race, and that's fine, I can do that. Whereas the guys ahead of me can drop a second faster for the qualifying lap, and so it puts us in situations like last week and like this one again, where, like you say, you called it a masterclass. I think it was started with a disaster class in qualifying, and then it was just a case just trying to undo that. But very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, always there as well. How do you think today compared to Suzuka? Because obviously it's two very different tracks. How do you think your drive from last round has sort of carried over to this today?
Suzuka gave me the confidence that you can come back through the field. Also, the difference is that it's much tighter here at Zandvoort. So I'd say today just felt a little bit less comfortable than the Suzuka drive. The Suzuka one, I knew the target to get up to what at the time was P1 in class, and that was the goal. Whereas here, it was a case of, well, not sure you can actually get to the front, really tight and bumpy, and you knew a few of the moves were going to have to be properly committed. So it was a bit more on the limit, but at the same time, we have a drop score. The last round's double points, so the drop score was probably going to be this week anyway once I qualified P17 or whatever it was. So it was much more kind of, unless I get P2, it's not going to matter. So I might as well go for it. And so it was quite an exciting one in that sense. Busy, I think, compared to the Suzuka drive too. Everyone was a bit more spaced out at Suzuka, whereas here you were catching packs of them, at least in the first stint of the race.
Yeah, definitely. It was very much. It was actually quite spaced out near the halfway mark. I think there wasn't a lot of action going on. There was sort of just everyone was sort of 2 seconds apart from each other or something. You say you were down in P17. That's 14 positions gained. Do you want to just, like,
I mean,
I'm thinking that in myself, like, for me, That's because you're making me stutter here. I don't really stutter a lot, but you're making me stutter here. Um, just unfathomable from my end on how someone can pull it off in a race.
It's
What?
just a pass by pass basis, I think, is how I think about it. It's how far is the next guy? 3 seconds up the road. Right. I can get there in 2 laps. Let's say if you're in the mid pack. And so you get there in 2 laps and it's already, if I don't pass this guy quickly, the next one's getting ahead. So you're thinking, when can I have him? When can I have him? My favorite spot was through that triple right into the last one because people always leave a gap up the inside even when they think they've covered it. So you can just ease off the brake. And so it was just every lap, it was get to the back of them, ease up, ease up, ease up, down the inside into the last of the triple rights, and then get to the back of them, ease up, ease up. And so it was the same thing over and over in terms of the overtakes. What I would say is that having done it at Suzuka and then again at Zandvoort, it makes me less worried about the lack of qualifying pace come Red Bull Ring. Firstly, because it's a shorter lap, so the time deficits across the whole grid will probably be smaller, which I think gives me the chance to capitalize on some mistakes in qualifying. And then secondly, it's a wider track. The passes are easier to make. So if you can do it at Zandvoort, hopefully it bodes well for Red Bull Ring because I don't see myself qualifying anywhere near the top 5, to be honest, on current form.
That's fair. The other thing that Red Bull Ring does have is a lot of straight lines, of which I do know, having run the Lexus before, is it is quite quick in a straight line. So as long as you can get a decent exit out of the corners, you've got a decent shot, a very good chance of being able to run up alongside. I think it was, I'm trying to remember when it was. Yeah, it was back at a race we did at Indy, and it was possible to outrun people in a straight line down the pit straight and pull away from them with that car. So trimmed out, it can go very quick. So that might be something to help out with the car there.
That'll be the goal. That'll be the goal, Zita. Like you say, longer straights, wider circuit, bit of runoff as well. So if you get it wrong, you can go straight on. So I think in terms of the overtaking and all that sort of stuff, I'm less nervous. The one thing that I would say is that Red Bull Ring is not as hard as on tires as a lot of places because you got 2 rights and 2 lefts, and the rest of them are hairpins. So I think in terms of tire wear, that's been one of my strengths, and I won't have that. So I'm hoping that straight line speed advantage helps. My only big experience of it in the Lexus has been at Bathurst down the Conrod Straight, and there, compared to McLaren's in particular, you will blitz them in a straight line. So I'm hoping that against everything other than probably James's Mustang could give me a run for my money, I think everything else I should have an advantage on. So we'll see how it goes next week. It all relies on me not dropping it at turn 1, of course. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Well, you never know. You never know. We did see quite early on you were working with Upton. What was your mindset there? Were you guys purposely working together? You know, you'd create the gap and then he'd follow, or you know, what was the communication there between you two?
I think he was working with me. I wouldn't say I was working with him. That's an interesting one. Yes, he went round early on, and so I got past him when he was off. He rejoined a few seconds behind me, and then I got onto the back of that group where I ended up getting my 5-second penalty, actually. And so it was a case of he'd caught up to the back of me, and the only passes I could make at Zandvoort were big lunges into 1 and big lunges into the end of that triple right sequence. And so you were always going to take the other guy a bit wide. And then Upton would just say thank you very much and follow through. So I was making the gaps for him, but if I could have made a move that would have put a car between us, I would have done it in a heartbeat. There was just no other overtaking opportunities. Although I don't know what happened to him, because I was expecting him to be on my tail right up towards the pit stop window, and then one point I checked my mirror and he wasn't there anymore, so I presume he got caught up.
I think he got punted off by someone you went past.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact between those, between him and can't remember which car it was. But yeah, there was a little bit of contact, and it just put him around half spin to recover, so dropped a few places.
Yeah, okay, that makes a bit more sense, because I was going to say, he had the pace on me on qualifying. I think in the race I had a couple tenths on him, but not enough to have not been able to see him anymore. That wasn't making sense to me in my head. I thought post-pit stop we were going to have a proper battle, but that explains that.
Right, I've only got 2 more questions for you today, Tom, and then I'll let you go on with your evening. The first one is, who do you think was your rival out there tonight on track?
I mean, you got to say James, right? He's led start to finish for the last 2, with the reclassification of last week's result following Cairo's promotion to AM plus his addition to AM. He's now on a two race winning streak. So I was hoping to catch him, and I did have the pace to, but I couldn't quite get there. The actual rival, the obvious one is Cairo, right, after our final lap battle. But for me, the target for much of the second stint was Ethan Paulson. So you can make an argument for all three. Got onto the back of Ethan, made the move, tried the same thing on Cairo, didn't quite work. So take your pick, I suppose.
Well, we'll certainly take our pick with that and look back on it later on in the date. So, my final question is, did you enjoy it today?
Absolutely loved it. Obviously, I had a bit of contact, so didn't enjoy it quite as much as Suzuka, but otherwise, it was brilliant. And if folk want to come and get involved, I hugely recommend they do. We got one more round at Red Bull Ring. You can join as somebody who isn't running in one of the classes, and you may score points if you get classified after that, even. So come and give it a go. And then there's bound to be a season 15 before long as well, which I don't think I'll be in.
100%. 100% there's going to be a season 15. If there isn't, I'm going to be having words. My Wednesdays have been fully booked for the past month. You just got it marked on the calendar of don't forget to do the availability.
Yes.
Right, I take it you are going to be here next week then.
That's my goal. I didn't think I was going to be able to do the last round when I entered the championship, which is why I chose the Lexus. I then realized that I go into surgery the next day, not that day, and so it turns out I can do the whole championship. So I will be trying to concentrate on the race in a Lexus and see whether or not we can. There's a chance for the title in a Lexus, so I've got one eye on it because it would be quite a feat, I think, if I can manage
Oh
it.
my words! Potentially battling for the title a day before surgery in a Lexus around Red Bull Ring, after doing 2 masterclass races. This is gonna be an interesting final round, don't you say?
I think it'll be good fun. Get me
Right.
top 10 in quali. I reckon we'll have a good race.
Well, sadly we can't do anything, and I actually think you won't want us to commentate as curse yet, because
Commentator's curse. Go on, get it on everyone else.
do you want me- yeah,
Commentator's curse
there you
on
go.
James.
Everyone else will be faster than Tom. There you go. That's the 'cause
See
works
James's
backwards.
final flyer. James's final flyer next week. Get on that onboard camera. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. No. Thank you very much for your time tonight, mate. And yeah, we'll see you on later next week. Potentially crowns. Who knows? But what we
I've
do
got
know
the
is it's gonna
season
be good.
13 trophy on the desk. I'd like to add a 14. Let's leave it at that.
Right. I'll see you later, mate. Thank you very much for
Have a
tonight.
good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See ya.
Right then, so that is us done for today. We do thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been one heck of a ride, may I say, and yeah, it wouldn't be possible without all of you. So we do really appreciate everyone involved. Yeah, a big shout out to all the stewards, all the drivers, and all of yous that are listening and watching. We too appreciate you. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and this will be us tonight. Goodbye.